I'm Sheila DeYoung, founder of Caitlin's Fund. Psalm 34 says, God is close to the brokenhearted and those who are crushed in spirit. We had adopted our first daughter, Maria, in 2003, and he began to speak to our heart about going back to Guatemala again. And as we did that, we had delays, we had setbacks, we had many things to work out the plan for how he came to bring our hearts to open for us to think about adopting Caitlin and Elizabeth. And so we said yes to adopting these two little twin girls, and little did we know that his plans were different than ours. Right before bringing the girls home, we had an unexpected call that Caitlin passed away, and Elizabeth was really, really sick as well. And I think he met us in that time, and he drew us to his heart, and he began to ask us, you're seeing me in this place, and you're experiencing the kindness that I have for you, and so how will you speak about me to other people? Not just in the joys and the celebrations, but in the things that are really devastating and break your heart. And so Caitlin's Fund began in that tender place of experiencing the Lord's kindness and his fierce love for the orphan. And so as we walked in that valley and experienced the Good Shepherd walking with us, he began to prompt our hearts to say, how can you share about who I am to other people? And in 2005, we began to ask the Lord those questions by saying we're willing. We don't feel like we're experienced, we have all the answers, the giftings, but we love you and we know your love, and so we want to share that with other people. And so in 2005, we began with our board of directors asking the Lord, how can we speak for you? And how can we share about little girls and boys, big girls and big boys, just like Caitlin and Elizabeth, that need a family, not just for a little while, but for eternity. And so that year we began to think about, what does that look like? What are the stumbling blocks for families going forward? And we know one big stumbling block is the finances. And so as we began giving one grant a month for $3,000. And at that point, we were just completely dependent on the Lord, and we're thinking, how in the world is he going to bring $3,000 a month? And he did, over and over and over again.
I'm Renee Scheidemann.
Terry Scheidemann.
We live here in Sioux Center. We were both born and raised here. We live on a farm outside of Sioux Center. We have 6 daughters. We are farmers.
We enjoy being on an acreage together as a family, that we can work together and play together and just enjoy the fire pits too. So
We knew Kelly and Sheila when they first got Maria home, and then when Elizabeth came home, she came to church with her on that Sunday morning. We drove home from church that Sunday morning, and we looked at each other and we said, we could do this. We could add another child. We could raise another little one. And that was the beginning of our adventure. It just popped in our heads, and we met with Kelly and Sheila several times to find out what the path looked like. And that's how it started.
we joked I wanted a boy, but she said you couldn't throw a boy in that mix of 4 girls already, so we had to go with another girl.
Actually, when we started, Caitlin's Fund wasn't even started yet. So we were kind of on the grassroots of the whole thing, and just walked with Sheila or behind her and just followed along. You know, I think if God puts it on your heart, and he really, I mean, you feel that that's what you're supposed to do, and I think we always use the analogy that we just had to step out of that boat in faith and just trust. And God will lead you where you're supposed to lead, and he will match you with the child that you're supposed to have. And that doesn't mean the journey's always easy. You know, God says, trust me, I've got you, I've got this child, and you are to parent this child, and I will work with you two together. And we've seen that with our own kids. It's like, just don't be afraid, just trust. And God will get you through it. He's gonna change you. He's gonna, you know, grow you as a person along with that child. But the other rewards are way outnumber the trials.
In 2007 and 2008, as the ministry was continuing and we were asking the Lord the question, how do we help children know more about you, Jesus, and know you personally? The Lord began to prompt our heart and to stir within us a desire for children who are not going to be able to be adopted and to come into homes. And so we began reading lots of books together as a board and as a ministry, and we prayed and asked the Lord for direction and what this meant. What does he have for us? And in 2011, we met with a ministry partner who we didn't know. Our entire board went to Haiti for the first time in 2012 before we made a decision for full partnership. Just looking back, when I think back 20 years ago, we really didn't envision having a school and sponsorship and some of these things, and yet the Lord knew, again, because He cares so much for the kids' hearts, that this was a different opportunity, this is a different way. And I often think about the graciousness of the Lord. Sometimes He gives us a big view, He gives us a big vision of things, and sometimes in His grace He shows us just the next thing, and He doesn't reveal all the things that are to come, because I think in His kindness He's like, that would be too much for you. I'm already ahead in that, but I want to show you that I'm walking with you. And Caitlin's Fund continues to be a lay ministry, and so we're so thankful for the ways that the Lord brings people alongside. We have a structure that's broken up into different teams. We have our board of directors, our support team, our Haiti team, our prayer team, our auction team, and the marketing team. And I think the beauty is that each one of us probably feels like we have little to offer, and then He just uses all of those little parts together. And it's been a beautiful thing to watch over the years, the confidence that's come in doing the work, the sharpness of skill, the creativity of mind, the ways that the Lord continues to invite people from all different churches and communities to come together and to serve together with His leadership. When I think back to the first days and years of Caitlin's Fund, I think about really Him meeting us, Him leading us, Him being in the midst of just a willing heart. I think about the ways that He continued to go ahead of us. I think about the ways that He continued to provide for us, all of the times when we felt like we didn't have enough, that we weren't enough, that He was more than enough, that He would provide the finances, He would provide the idea, He would provide the people, He would provide all of those things.
And it's just amazing how God has taken that little life and touched so many. And just, just that small step of faith and that next step of faith and that next step of faith, and just sent it all over the world.
And I think how it's grown also is when they started, they were all hands-on. They were all local people. They could have face-to-face with them, and now it's a different process, Skyping or all over the world. So it's a different process than what it started. But they've done a good job, doing a great job through the process to get this accomplished anyway, to help others.
Well, I was a part of the support team for many years, so I've loved going to the support meetings and continue to learn and stuff, and be a part of the Orphan Sunday and being a part of that and reconnecting with people. And
it's always fun to go to the auction in the fall, to get to see everybody and just touch base and just have a lot of fun raising money for Caitlin's Fund. So
when I think about the future of Caitlin's Fund, when I think about us going ahead, I think about the kindness that He's offered to us already. I think about looking back, because it gives evidence of His work, and I think that spurs us on to have the confidence of going ahead. I think my greatest prayer for us as a ministry, when I think about us as team members, when I think about the work that's before us, I pray that the Lord will help us to be faithful, that the Lord will continue to strengthen our own walks with the Lord, because without that, these efforts are futile and we have nothing to offer. So I pray that the Lord will help us to be faithful. I pray that the Lord will help us to grow in our own relationships with Him, and so that we have that offering, that testimony. I pray that He will continue to go ahead and give vision for things that we don't yet see, that He will help us to be steadfast in the things that He desires for us to do, that He will help us to maintain just the heart that He offers for families. And I hope that He continues to just encourage us as we desperately long to encourage other people.